Thank you, Ricardo. As Ricardo already explained, this one is the first session to introduce the open source tool and the best practice ProSoftine built in last 3 years to enable the community and the specific customer. And today we will introduce how can we build admin console to perform the user governance, the assets governance, and also analyze the dashboard usage metrics. As you already know, QuickSight currently is very good at the scalability. You can have like more than 500 namespace, and you can have thousands users groups. So you would like to know what the user they are doing secretly in your BI application. You would like to analyze their activity, right? And you would like to know the utilization of the dashboard and the other assets. And you also would like to identify some usage pattern according to the statistical results. And of course, you have so many data sets. And from QuickSight portal, there's no any centralized location to display the assets and their business usage and also the relationship, the linkage between those assets. How could we do that? So we, based on those requirements and those purpose, we using CloudTrail log and QuickSight API, combine them together. CloudTrail log can get the API call, not only the Bottle3 API call, but also the service API call. And we get the usage pattern from the CloudTrail log. And at the same time, we call the QuickSight API to get the results, like what kind of the assets do you have. We list the objects and we describe the objects and we describe the permission of the objects and combine them together. We call it the main console. We build a dashboard and the relative serverless data pipeline to provide all the information to the end user. And I published the blog 1.5 years ago. And after that, I received a lot of requests. The end user would like to be able to easily deploy the solution. How about someone without any coding experience? How could they do that? So based on those requests, we provide 3 CloudFormation templates. So you don't need any coding background. Just deploy the CloudFormation template one by one. You do have to get the knowledge of QuickSight, of course, right? And you do have to understand how to write a SQL. But there's no any requirement for you to understand the Python. No, it's just optional. In today's session, you do the hands-on, deploy the CloudFormation template. And later, I will dive deep to explain the backend, the architecture and the coding. If you are not interested in the coding, feel free to drop. Don't worry about that. It's not request. It's just optional. So, yeah, introduce a little bit of myself. I have more than 12 years in data analytics. My first job was in MicroStrategy, and then I travel around in the engineering, BI, data scientist, different roles. And 3 years ago, I joined AWS. Now I am the service owner of QuickSight in ProSoftine, and I'm passionate and it's also my responsibility to support our customer to fully enjoy the beauty of QuickSight, to analyze the data, to unlock the power of data. And yeah, and today's agenda, first thing first, we will do a demo to let you know what's mean about admin console, what do we have. And then we will move to the hands-on workshop. My colleague Maitri will walk you through the CloudFormation deployment, and I will be here to support you as a TA. And then we will talk about the tips and tricks. And then we will do the high-level review of the backend architecture and the source code. And finally, we will do introduction of our open source GitHub repository. And And the end, we will reserve 10 to 15 minutes Q&A session. So now, demo. Here we release a public accessible dashboard. And this dashboard, we embedded it so everyone can see it is anonymous access. So in this dashboard, you can click the link to view the big data blog I published 1.5 years ago. And in the blog, you can get a lot of detailed information about this solution. And you can also click this link to go to the GitHub repo to download the CloudFormation template. And in here, in the landing page, I make some explanation of the control and selector. You can, in the selector, you can choose start date, end date to choose in what time frame you would like to analyze the usage pattern. And for the user analysis tab, you can select how would you define the inactivity for more than 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. If a user more than 3 months without any activity, then you might want to define this user as inactivity. And you might already know for reader, we pay it the reader for this based on the session. So we don't care about that. If they don't use it, then you don't have to pay anything. But for author, the QuickSight license is monthly. So that's why we would like to monitor the inactive author and then let them know, hey, you didn't do anything. You have to do something. Otherwise, I will not continue pay for your license. So that's why for the user analysis, we analyze the activity status by using months. And then in the dashboard analysis, we change the granularity to be day. We don't want a dashboard sit there and after like 3 days, 4 days, no one view it, then it's useless, right? So for the dashboard analysis, we are using day as the time granularity to analyze activity information. And you can also change the selector on region, on different department, QuickSight namespace to get information. You can also run mouse click to send an email to inactive author. I already preset the URL action for you to do that. And you can also analyze the object type, the ownership in the access permission tab. And you can also check the information between the relationship between the dataset column and dashboard in the data dictionary tab. And here I define some terminology based on not only in the BI application, but in general in any application. We would like to analyze the user stickiness. One terminology is longevity. Longevity is for one user, if first time login and last time login, the time difference we call longevity, right? And for the utilization, how can we define the utilization of a user of a dashboard? So let's give an example. I work 5 days a week. And if I log in the BI application 4 distinct days, or maybe I view a dashboard for distinct days, then IN's utilization is 80%. And the dashboard utilization based on IN's access is 80%. And how can we define the overall dashboard utilization? We are using the different user utilization and combine them together to calculate the average. Then we get the utilization data of the dashboard. And dashboard click rate, just the absolute value to get like how many click happen in the dashboard. And pay session, as you already know, the reader session, they are pay session. So we would like to analyze, is it this session author session or reader session? If it is author session, then we don't have to pay for it. It's paid by the license fee. But if a reader session, then we pay for it. And of course, you know what's mean about QuickSight author. You also know what's mean about QuickSight reader, right? Reader only able to consume the dashboard, and author they are able to create analysis. They are able to create data set. They are able to publish dashboard. And permission define like what kind of action you can do to QuickSight objects. And owner is someone who can edit, delete, granted permission to one asset or one object. And viewer and user, for dashboard viewer, they only be able to view dashboard like a reader. And for the data set, if you are not owner, then you can use the data set to build analysis. However, you cannot edit the data set. And originally, the 1.5 years ago, this one is developed by me. And then I bring in my colleague, and they all contribute together to support me to make it better. So yeah, we put our photo here. And you can request a further demo if you would like to understand more, like a line by line review the code. You just request a demo to us. You can feel free to share this one to your customer. And in here, we put two thumbnail. One is for the user analysis, and this one is word cloud visuals. And you see the name, the size of the name is based on the utility of the user. And this one is dashboard analysis. The color of the dashboard is the distinct user. Color is distinct user. And the size is the click rate. So that's difference. Click maybe one user, they click 10 times a day. But the distinct user is no matter how many times you click the dashboard, we only count how many distinct user access this dashboard during the start day and end day. That's the difference. So you click this one and then you go to the user analysis tab. In the user analysis tab, sorry, the embed session already timed out. I have to refresh it. There might be some network issue. Let me refresh it again. Sorry, there's some network issue. Let me directly go here to demo to you. Oh, looks like it's good now. Yeah. In the user analysis, as I explained, you can set the start day and you can set end day. I let end day always to be today. And as I described, you can set the inactivity months to be 1 or 2 or 3, whatever. If you define 1, that means if your user more than 1 month do not make any action in your QuickSight application, then we mark this user as inactive. If you put it to be 2, then the threshold will set as 2 months. And here we put the selector based on region, the author status, the activity status, and so on and so on. And then in here, we record the last activity event in CloudTrail. And here we provide you the time range by using end day to subtract start day. And how many active users? The number is here. And I use the active user to divide by active user plus inactive user, which is total user. If less than 50%, then I give a thumb down. And we also would like to analyze the author, right? Not only the total user, but also the authors. So in total, we have 22 authors, and 19 of them, they are active. So good is more than 80%. In here, I use a thumb up, thumb down to notify. If more than 80%, then it will be a green thumb up. And how many inactive author and the total dashboard click rate. That's all the KPI. And then in the bar charting, you can see here, the blue color is number of the active users. And the orange color is the number of the inactive users. And in different namespace, default namespace, and there's a custom namespace called marketing. And in here, you can see in different namespace, how many active user, how many inactive user. And in this bar charting, you can see for the different dashboard, how many distinct user per dashboard. And the different color notify different region. Be careful, QuickSight objects, assets, they are per region. If you have a dashboard in US East 1, and if you would like to enable in EU, then you have to porting this one into EU region to make it happen in both of the region. So when we analyze the sets, we care about the region. And in here is similar as I explained, it is utilization of the dashboard. You can see some of the dashboard, the utilization is pretty high, more than 100%. That means someone view this dashboard even during weekend. And in here is the detailed information of the users, the username, the activity status, and the group name. And if you have the your resource department information, you can join them together to get the job title and some other information. And in here, you can see the earliest login, the latest login, and the number of days since last login, and the longevity and utilization. And as I explained in here, I put a URL action here, and later we will explain to you how can we do that. You can run mouse click and then say, hey, I email to this inactive user. And you can see here, I already preview send to who based on which one you click on, and preview the email and preview the message. Say, hey, if you don't do anything, then we will suspend your license. Yep. And similarly for the dashboard analysis, we analyze the active dashboard. That means because we set the day threshold to be 7. Active dashboard means in past 7 days, at least one click happened, one view dashboard event happened. And in here is the weekly progress. Because compared to last week, there's roughly 1,000 click rate drop, and we would like to know what's happened, right? Your leadership team, they would like to know, hey, why? What happened? Why the click rate decrease? And in here, there's a narrative to provide you the bottom utilization and top utilization. For the top utilization dashboard, we provide who is the author of the dashboard, and yet the leadership team might increase their bonus, right? And here is the bar charting to display the dashboard weekly click rate grouped by different AWS region, and per dashboard, per weekly, the click rate, and the distinct user per weekly. And also we display the top utilization by dashboard and top user by their access amount per dashboard per user. And in here, we provide information by calling the QuickSight API. So you can understand in which account, which group, who own which objects in which region, and what's the ownership. Is it viewer or is it owner? And similarly, in here, we provide further detailed information. Not only tell you, hey, this one is a user or this one is a owner. We also provide the specific action, the permission, this principle corresponding to this specific object. And because you can define the scope down IAM policy, so understand the detail of the permission now is very important. And and here we provide the detailed information of the user. And in the data dictionary, we provide 3 control: a dashboard, datasets, and column. And now, for example, if you would like to know, okay, if I would like to know, for example, this column, hospital. So we will know, oh, in this region, in this dashboard, you are using this column from this data source and this data set. And here we provide some further analysis. You can get information here. And furthermore, if you would like to do that, actually, because I provide the SQL here. So you can add one more control and provide the SQL table name into the control, and you can type in anything in the SQL. And then corresponding to the SQL matching pattern, you can get the information, whatever you would like to do. I always say there's no limitation. If you have enough knowledge of BI, if you have enough knowledge of SQL and enough knowledge of AWS platform, you can do everything you would like to do. There's no limitation. The only limitation is your imagination. And yeah, and this one, don't worry about that. We just provide more detailed information as a table to let you know the details of the users and dashboard. And now I will switch it to my colleague Maitri. She will guide you through to do the hands-on workshop. As we explained, we have 3 templates. Just deploy it one by one. You can directly follow the guidance in this dashboard to do it. Maitri, I will move it back to you.
Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna demo you how to deploy all 3 CloudFormation template. Before that, let me also share one doc which will be handy when we deploy our solution. And I will walk you through how to use that one. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, unable to see it.
Okay. So to deploy this admin dashboard, we have 3 CloudFormation template. One is for Lambda, which once we deploy the Lambda CloudFormation template, it will create the data prepare and data set info Lambda function, which are scheduled to run hourly, and it will gather all the information regarding the group, user, dashboard, and analysis. So let me first, you all can click on here, launch stack, and it will take you to the CloudFormation. Once you are on this page, hit next. And you see here, we already have a stack name here, which is called Lambda function. Once you see that, hit next. And again, hit next. And towards the end, you want to click the acknowledgement and then hit create stack. And it will start deploying the first stack, which is Lambda function, and it will create 2 Lambda function for us. Let me know if you all are able to follow me or if you have any question. It will take around a minute to completely finish deploying this template. And side by side, we can also see in the resource, it's the IMA roles are being created, the Lambda functions are being created as well. Let me give it one more second. So you see here, till then we can go back to the demo board here. So once we deploy the Lambda template, these resources should be created. So we will have data prepare and data set info Lambda function, and then admin console followed by your account ID S3 bucket will be created. And under that bucket, we will have 4 folders named by membership, group membership, object access, data dictionary, and dataset info. So let's go back to our stack and see if it's finished. So all these 4 S3 folders will have information. So let's say for group membership, we will have all the information regarding the group, their access permission. Then object access will have the details like the dashboard analysis permission, and then the data dictionary and dataset info will have all the information regarding what datasets we are using, what schema, tables we are using, etc. Yep, now you can see the first stack has been deployed. Just comment if your first stack has also been deployed, then we can move ahead to the next step. So if this is deployed for everyone, we can now move on to the next step. So for the next step, we want to make sure that our Lambda function runs smoothly. And since it's scheduled to run hourly, we have to manually test this for now, just to see if it's running smoothly so that it can also create the S3 bucket that we want. So now the next step would be, we want to go to a Lambda. We can type here and go to the Lambda service. And you see here the data prepare and dataset info function has been created. So now you want to click on the first function, which is data prepare. And to test it, we can hit test. And for event name, we can type it any event name that we like. And then we can save it. And then when you again hit test, it will start running your Lambda function. Feel free to ask any question in chat if you're having any difficulties. My colleagues will be happy to answer you with that.
Feel free to raise your question. And for the attendee, if you have a lot of QuickSight assets in your account, your lambda function execution time might be longer than my tree. Don't worry about that. Just be patient, wait for it. We are here to support.
Yep, so mine is finished. I can wait for a few more moments to see if you are also done with the Lambda function testing. And once you are done with the first Lambda function, you can go to second one, which is dataset info. And to test this one, you also want to do the same thing. You want to hit the test button here, give the event name, and then hit the save button. And then again, hit this test. Okay. So my Lambda functions has been tested. Comment in the chat window to so that I can know if you are also done with your running the Lambda functions, so that we can move on to the next step.
Rajesh say getting error. Do you want to share your screen to show us the error message?
Yeah, I will share my screen.
Yeah, Jody, the function log will be different based on your existing QuickSight assets. And Rajesh, the error say, can you scroll to the right? The message is not fully displayed. Can you move to the right? Yeah, yeah, scroll to the right. It's not subscribe. Yeah, you don't have a valid QuickSight account, Rajesh. So that's why this dashboard cannot be executed.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yep, yep. You can. We will send the recording to you, and after then you can subscribe the QuickSight account to your AWS account, and then you should be able to run the lambda function. Yep,
Okay. Okay.
yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay. Mohan, account setting not found. Yeah, you are seeing the similar error. Did you subscribe QuickSight account in your AWS account?
Yeah, I did it, but I got this error.
Did you give yourself the permission to do all the QuickSight action?
Okay, so I didn't do that, so I'll do that and then check that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. You might want to enable the action, all the QuickSight action, and then you should be able to
okay,
do that. Yep,
sure. Yeah, thank you.
yep. Thank you.
And
And
question regarding the other stack will not launch. So there is few prerequisite that will we go through now before launching the second stack.
yeah, be patient. Don't do it before Matrix do it. Just follow Matrix steps.
Okay. So once we have both the Lambda function running, we can now go back to the demo and see what resources we have created here. So let me go to S3 bucket and make sure you all can go to the S3 bucket. And you should be able to see a folder name, bucket name, uh, admin console followed by your account ID. And there should be a monitoring folder, QuickSight folder, and under that folder, great, we have 4 new folders, which will be used to create the Athena tables, and then later we will use those for the QuickSight. So once that's being created, the next step would be create a CloudTrail log. So if you already don't have a CloudTrail log, it's very simple to create one. Let me show you quickly. You wanna type in CloudTrail. Oh, sorry. Let me launch it again. You wanna go to CloudTrail. And then I already have a CloudTrail here. But if you go here, click Create Trail, then you wanna give any name, such as admin console trail, anything you can give, and then just hit the next button here. Oh, you can also use the existing S3 bucket if you don't want to use the new one, and you can browse through. If you have already any bucket, you can use that one, and then hit create. For AWS KMS alias, you can also give any alias that you want. And once you have the CloudTrail created, you can click here to go to the trail log location. It will show you the S3 bucket for that one. So here, if you go to CloudTrail, so this would be your location for the CloudTrail. Now, let me know if you all are able to create the CloudTrail or if you have any questions. If not, we can move on to the next step. So for the next step, once we have everything ready, so now we have all 4 folders in S3 that we need, and we also have the CloudTrail bucket. So now what we want to do is, here you see for the output reference, I have also sent a doc, admin console doc. You can download that one from the chat. And for that, we have key value here and the description here. Let me also open this and show you in detail. So now what we want to do here is we want to add on to for example, for the CloudTrail log, we want to add here the actual CloudTrail location, S3 location here. So all you have to do is you can just go back to your CloudTrail bucket here and just here copy the S3 URL. Once you copy that, just replace this value with your CloudTrail bucket link. And we want to also do the same for the group membership, object access, dataset info, and data dictionary. For that, again, you can go back to the bucket in S3, click on the admin console followed by your account ID bucket, then monitor. Under QuickSight, you will have all 4 folder here. And once you click one of them, let's say for data dictionary, I can select copy S3 link, and then for the data dictionary, I can replace this one. So go ahead and do the same for all 4 S3 bucket. I'm also going to do the same. Send the thumbs up button if you are done with the replacing all the value, then we can move on to the next step. Or let me know if you have any questions so far. Can you all see my screen? Are you able to see the screen?
No, it is loading. Yeah, now we can see.
Okay. So now that we have replaced all the S3 bucket value, so now we will go ahead and move on to the next step, which is deploying the second stack, which is for Athena tables. So before doing that, if you click here, launch stack, it will download a file. So go ahead and click on the launch stack number 2. And then once you have that file, Let me open that. You can open it with any text editor. I'm choosing this one. Okay. So once this is open, so now we have location. So now we have group membership, dataset info, all the key value bucket here. But now we have to replace the for the location. We have to add on the actual location that are being saved in our account. So let's say for Cloud Trail, we want to save the actual location of the Cloud Trail S3 bucket. So for that, what you're going to do is just copy the key value from this doc. Go ahead to your text editor. I can do here Control F, type in the key value here. And now if you see here on line 177, you can see it's asking for the name of the Cloud Trail table name. So for that, here is the CloudTrail log table name, which is CloudTrail underscore log. You simply want to copy that and replace the entire string with the CloudTrail underscore logs. That's on the line 177. After that, if you hit next, now we also want to change the CloudTrail location. So for that, we already have saved that here. So just copy your CloudTrail log S3 bucket location and then replace this one with the original location. Once that's done, we want to also do the same for group membership and object access. So I'm just going to copy this keyword, replace it here. So you see here on line 70, if you click next, on line 74, you will find a location for group membership here. I'm just going to copy the actual location and replace it with the original one. And the last one is object access. Copy the keyword here. Oops. And then on line 88, you will see the block for object access. Hit next, and you will see the location here. On line 155. So for that, I'm also going to replace it. Remove the black. Okay. I'm all done. So now Athena, for the Athena stack that we will launch, it will create the group membership table, object access table, and then the cloud log table. So we have replaced all three because we want to make sure the cloud formation template runs smoothly. But for the other two tables, since they are new addition, it's not yet been included in the template. We can use Athena to create those two templates. So we don't need to replace anything for these two dataset info and data dictionary key just now. So now just go ahead and save the file. And once you're done, we want to go back to CloudFormation. And we want to hit create stack, standard one, And then for here, under template resource, we want to upload a template. So click upload a template and then choose a file. And then you can choose a file that we have just finished editing. And once it's uploaded, hit next. And for the stake name, you can say admin console Athena table, something like that. And then once you hit next, again next, it creates stack and it should create 3 Athena tables. Let me know if you have any questions so far on any difficulties. You can also mention if I'm moving too fast or too slow. This should be pretty quick actually. So I am done with the creating the Athena table here. Let me know if you're having any problem with the second stack. Uh, I can wait for a couple more seconds here to see if anyone has any questions. If not, then we can go on to the dashboard demo here. So now we have finished so far creating the 3 tables here, and we finished running this CloudFormation template. Now, for creating the other 2 tables, which is dataset info and data dictionary, we simply want to copy this one from here and go to the Athena tables. So we're going to type in Athena. And you want to make sure you are under data source, AWS data catalog, and database under data console. And you can already see here, we have 3 tables created that we have created by launching and deploying our second stack, Athena table stack. So for some of you, if you don't have already created the S3, set the S3 bucket for the query, you can do so before running any query. You have to go to settings and make sure you have any bucket listed here to save your all the queries. To do that, you can go under settings, go under manage, and then you can browse through any S3 bucket you want to store your queries into. And you can choose any bucket and then just click on choose. I already have one selected, so I'm not going to do that, but go ahead and select the S3 bucket here. And once you're done with that, we want to go back to editor here. And we just want to copy, and paste the SQL from the dataset info table here. And the only change that we have to make here is the location. So here we just have to replace the bucket name with our original bucket name, which is admin console followed by your account ID. So I'm going to do that. Dataset info, I already have stored this here on my doc. I'm just going to copy this and just replace this one. And once you're done with that, you can hit run and it will create one more table named dataset info. Now we have to again do the same for the second table. You can copy this and replace it. And for this one as well, data dictionary, we again have to change the S3 location with our original S3 location. We already have saved that in our docs. Just replace this one and hit run. So now you see all 5 Athena tables are being created. So we are almost there. So now that we have Athena tables, we want to make sure that our QuickSight is able to see all the Athena tables. So for that, we want to go to our QuickSight account. Then on the top right, select the Manage QuickSight. Once you select that, go to Security and Permission. Under that, you see here QuickSight access to AWS services. So now you go here, click Manage. And for the S3 bucket, click on Select S3 bucket. And we want to make sure all 2 buckets have access to the QuickSight. So we have admin console followed by your account ID bucket, and then the CloudTrail bucket, which is AWS CloudTrail, whatever bucket you have for the CloudTrail, you can select those 2 buckets so that QuickSight has access to those 2 buckets. And then after selecting, you can hit Finish. It will save the changes. And after that, you also want to click on Amazon Athena so that your QuickSight can also access all 5 Athena tables that we have just created. And then hit Select. Now to make sure that QuickSight actually can see all 5 tables, we can also make sure that by going to the datasets, click on the new dataset. We want to click on the Athena as a data source. Let's give it a test. Create a data source. So now you see here for me, right now I'm not able to see. So if you remember, we have created all the tables under admin console. So I'm not able to see that database right now here. Some of you may be able to see those, but for some of you who are not able to see the database under here, there's one more thing that we need to do, which is regarding the lake formation permissions. So for that, this is not needed for everyone. Can anyone confirm if they can see those tables or not? If you're already able to see those tables, great. If you're not able to see those tables and the dataset, database schema, you can go here and click lake formation. Under lake permissions, click on lake permission. And then we want to do grant. And then we want to grant the access to QuickSight so that they can see the Athena tables. And then for we want to click here, SAML user and group. And here we want to enter our QuickSight ARN. So for the QuickSight ARN, in the doc that I have provided, I have also provided you so if you can also find your ARN by using this command in the terminal. And if you don't want to do that, you can simply use this one and replace the account ID with this one. You can see account ID here. You can simply copy here and paste it here. And then for the user, you're supposed to be admin user. You can go here, copy, and then replace this one. So this would be your ARN. You can enter this one here. And now under LF tags, you want to click on named data log resources. And now here you will mention the admin console database that we have created. And we want to grant access to all the tables. And what permission we want to grant is select and describe for tables and grantable permissions. And once you are done with that, you can hit grant. Okay, just a second. Oh, okay. I have an extra space here. My bad. So now if I click grant, okay, now permission has been granted. So now if I go back to the Athena tables, so this is the data source that I just created. If I go here, so now I should be under the database. I should be able to see admin console. And once I click here, I should be able to see all 5 tables. Great. So now QuickSight can access to all 5 Athena tables. So now when we run our last stack, which will create all 4 data sets using these 5 Athena tables, and then it will create the dashboard for us. So now the only thing is remaining is running the last step. Let's go to our last step. Here. Let me know if you have any questions so far, or if I'm going too fast or too slow. Okay. So now we can click here, launch stack. It will take you to the CloudFormation template. And now we want to hit next here. And for this one, we have one parameter here, which will ask for ARN, which we just saved here from our admin console doc. We can just copy this one and use this one. Or you can copy it from here and just replace the account ID and admin with this one, account ID and admin. And we have stack name as a QuickSight object. Hit next. Again, hit next and create stack. Once this is done, you should be able to see 4 data sets, 1 data source, and 1 dashboard called admin console dashboard in your QuickSight account. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. It shouldn't take more than a minute, actually. Just a second. Okay, let me see if I have all the correct permission here. I'm just trying to see. Oh, okay, I know what's the issue. Let me go back to the CloudFormation template and I can show you what could be the error. So remember, I had an extra space here. Maybe that has caused an issue. My bad, copy, and let me roll it back. So to roll back, I can just delete this one, the entire stack. Okay, so now let me go ahead here and launch this stack again. So I'm just gonna hit that button here, do next. And now I make sure I'm entering the correct ARN here. Next, hit next, and create stack. Okay, So now we can go under resources to see what's being created. So you can see now all the data sets are being created under process. Let me know if you are able to run this stack or having any difficulties. So now you can see one of the data source has been created. It may take 1 more minute. Once this is finished, we will have 4 data sets. So here we can see. So these all are the resources which will be created, Spice dataset, and then one dashboard. So just let's wait for a couple more moment. Okay. Let me see. What could be the issue? Okay. So since I ran the first stack, I am assuming it had already created few data set or maybe the data source, and that's why since it's being recreated, it's throwing an error. So let me go ahead and delete what has been created by running the last stack for the first time. I apologize for the inconvenience. Just a second. Let me see if anything else has been created.
Yeah, no worry. And for the CloudFormation template, we are running it like firstly we create data source, and then we create a data set, and then we create the dashboard, and we set a dependency. So only after the data source successfully create, then the data set will be created. And only after the data set successfully create, then the dashboard will be created. Just one thing to be careful. If you are using CloudFormation template to create a data set, then the QuickSight not only just create a data set, it will also trigger the data set data ingestion. And if your data set is very, very large, I mean, not in this one, but if you would like to reuse our technology to do some other things to support your customer, be careful. For the very, very large data set, don't use CloudFormation template to deliver the contents. It will take a lot of time to finish the data ingestion. And if it is timeout, then your template will never be able to successfully deploy it. So this one is only suitable for the small data set by using CloudFormation template. Then if you would like to deploy it data set with very large data size, how could you do that? In the middle of April, my another colleague, May, and I, we will deliver a solution called BI Ops. In that one, we will use the API to support you to do the deployment. Then with that one, you don't have to worry about that. You can separate the dataset creation and data ingestion in different steps, just for your information.
Yep. Thank you, Ying. Hopefully this time it's been created successfully.
Yeah, you will be fine. I have no doubt of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and the team, if you have any innovation by reusing this template, if you do any other development to continue to enrich the admin console, feel free to contact Ricardo, and we will be very happy to integrate your input into this solution, and we can co-author article or whatever. For example, I always have an idea to put the Redshift usage metric into the admin console, but I just don't have time to complete it. If you will do that in your side, let us know and we can collaborate together.
Let's wait for a few more moments. So you can see here all 4 dataset and data sources being created. It might take a few more seconds. And now you can see here all 4 data sets have been created and data source also has been created. And now it's working on creating the dashboard. I think it's being done. Okay, great. So now the dashboard has been created. We can go into our QuickSight account and click on the dashboard. And you can see here, admin console dashboard has been created. So since this is a new account, this account won't have much data in it to display all the visuals here, but Ying will deep dive into this one once I finish the demo. So the last couple of things here is, so once we have the dashboard ready, we can save this as an analysis so that you can add on to more features or more tabs. So for that, you can click here on share. And then once you do share dashboard, you wanna do allow save as option, do confirm, and then it should, then you can refresh this one. And yes, you should be able to see here the save as option, and you can save as this one as a, let me call it test. And you can save this dashboard as analysis. And after creating the analysis, you can do more with it. You can create more tabs or new functions in it. And the one last thing I would recommend is after creating the dashboard, we want to go to the data sets, and we also want to create a scheduler refresh on all 4 data sets. So you can do so by just doing here, creating the refresh. We can also do it like repeats on hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and then we can hit create to create a refresh here. So that's it. That's all from my side to create a admin console dashboard. Now back to you, Ying.
Thank you, Maitri. Now let's dive deep to the backend architecture. And if you are not interested in about that, feel free to drop. So in this solution, left-hand side, we provide all the link about the blog post and the dashboard demo link and the API and the API reference in details and the cloud trail explanation. In our solution, the architecture is we have the lambda function, and the lambda function is calling QuickSight API to do like, for example, list all the namespace and list all the users in the namespace and describe the user to get the group they are belonging to, and we can get all the user information, right? And for all the objects, what we are doing is we list all the dashboard and we list all the data sets and we list all the data source. And when we list the dashboard, we can continue to describe the dashboard. And when we describe dashboard, we can get the data set related to this dashboard. And so that we can build a relationship between dashboard analysis, data set, and even the column. You can describe a data set to get a column list. So you can build a relation table to combine all those information together. And we dump the information into S3 bucket. And then that's the CloudFormation template too. We create a Athena table based on those S3 CSV file. If you don't want to use Athena, that's totally fine. If you already have a Redshift ready, then you can just use Redshift Spectrum to build a table by using the Spectrum DDL. And at the same time, the cloud trail, if you enable it, it also is saved into the S3 bucket. And you can create a Athena table on it. Again, if you don't want to use a Athena table, that's also fine. You can use Redshift. But however, CloudTrail natively, they already provide the out-of-box DDL for you to create a Athena table. If you would like to use Redshift, it's fine, but you have to rebuild the DDL again. And once we have everything, yeah, we use QuickSight to visualize it. And here we do put some, let me show you some of the tips and tricks. Go to CloudTrail and you choose event source and then choose QuickSight, right? And you will see all the API event related to QuickSight source. And for example, one called describe dashboard. That's because I'm using this lambda function to describe a dashboard and try to get the information. So if you click it, oh, it's already too long. Let me re-log in again. Don't worry about that. Uh, so go to event history, and in here change it to event source, and then just type in QuickSight, and then yeah, you will see all the QuickSight events. And in here you can see the event information saved into a JSON format, and they will tell you the user identity, all those information, and the event time, and who is doing what. Because this one I use a bottle3 call, so the user agent is bottle3. That's all the information. And when you describe a dashboard, this API will provide a response, including dashboard ID and the dashboard name and everything. The data set belong to this dashboard, and also some other information like how many sheets you have in this dashboard, and so on and so on. And once you have this information, those things actually it is writing into Athena as a JSON, as they call struct. You can think it just like a array. And that's why we provide a DDL there for you to query against those things to get information. Like for example, this one, CloudTrail log. You can see is array, so you can get all those information, the user identity and the event time, event source. By study the DDL and the DQL, I mean the SQL query we provide in the workshop, you can construct some other further advanced SQL to get some more information. For example, for wood safety, the lady, the CTO, she asked me to generate a very interesting data set. They would like to know like the usage is very interesting. They would like to know the records who log in, who already logged in, but didn't do any view dashboard action. I don't know why she would like to know that, but she would like to study it. So that's the sample SQL I provide to her. How could you do that? So I create a view, and in the view, I get information for the login because for this customer, their user, they are not QuickSight user, they are all the federated user. So for any login, there's corresponding event called assume role with SAML. And then I use the login dataset to join with the view dashboard dataset. And then I can get the results who log in, but do not view any dashboard. Yeah, so you can think about that. You can do whatever analysis you would like to do. Just construct the corresponding SQL to do what you would like to do. And another thing is about the coding. So here is our GitHub repo. You can search it, say, Amazon QuickSight SDK ProServe. Yep, that's me. And we have a lot of different open source tools. This one, the admin console, just one example. In later, 1 month later, we will talk about the BI ops, how to do the programmable deployment of QuickSight assets. And we have a lot of other artifacts. Feel free to use it. And in here, if you don't want to use CloudFormation template, and all the source code actually we already provide here. One example, say this one, is the lambda function. We are getting the data sets information, the data dictionary actually. We get everything by using this lambda function. So in this lambda function, we are building this one. We call the STS to try to assume the role. And then we construct the string to call the corresponding S3 bucket. And we upload those information, including the dataset information, including the data dictionary, go down to column level. And yeah, you see I have another CSV, but I didn't release to you yet. This one I studied the dataset ingestion information. Why I don't do that? Because QuickSight will have an out-of-box feature will be released by using CloudWatch metric to study the dataset ingestion. So you don't need me anymore. You can enjoy the CloudWatch metrics. So I will not release this one anymore. And so once you get those things, and then what you can do is very simple. See, you call the list dashboard API, and you can get all the dashboard. And then you do a loop. You loop every individual dashboard in the dashboard list. And for every individual dashboard, you describe the dashboard. And then you can get the information, including the related data set, the status, and how many sheets do you have, and the corresponding analysis. And I further describe analysis to get the analysis information. And then I further describe the data set belong to this dashboard to get all the data set information. And then inside the dataset, we can get the custom SQL information and then further go down to get column information. And after we finish this loop, pong, we got everything ready. And then we just write into the CSV file. And yeah, we can continue to do something else if you would like to get more information. That's just one example. Yeah, that's it. That's everything we would like to share today. Enjoy it and let us know any other requirement you would have. And also let us know if you make some further modification, improvement. We really would like to cooperate with all of you together to make it to be more and more powerful. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.